engaging the community since 1970. This is WIS Awareness.
Hey there, good morning. I'm your host, Leland Pender. Welcome to Awareness, and thanks for joining us. So it is the holiday season, of course, Christmas, New Year's. We already had Thanksgiving. It's a time of joy and happiness for a lot of people, seeing friends and family. But for some people as well, it's a time that causes a lot of stress and the holiday blues, if you will. So this morning, I'm joined by Dr. Markeisha Miller of Holistic Psychological Associates here in Columbia with more on how to get through these tough times. You don't think when you think holidays, tough times, but for some people it is.
It is. And, you know, Leland, you're right. There's so many things that people are going through, whether it's financial distress. For some people, it may be grieving. For some people, it can just be the idea of just feeling alone. And so it's so much that really impacts that stress that people feel.
So what are some of the things you see in your practice, you know, this time of year?
Financial distress. That is probably one of the biggest because you know, people have this idea that they want to do so much, especially parents really feeling overwhelmed because they want to make sure that their kids have the world. They want to get them everything on their Christmas list.
Right.
However, the budget may not necessarily opt for that. And so for a lot of people, depression comes into place. People who overspend, people who've gone out and they've done all those things, and now they're not sure how they're going to make that mortgage, how they're going to make that car payment. And so that is really big, and grieving. Those would probably be the top two. This is the time of the year where grief really sets in more so than other times.
You know, that's one. I want to talk about the financial aspect as well, but the grieving issue you brought up, I know in my family personally, my grandmother died on Christmas Day about 10 years ago now it's been. So, you know, time goes on, it gets a little easier when Christmas comes around, but certainly those first few years were tough for my family and my dad especially. So what are some things you would, you know, advise to kind of work through that grief, perhaps if you had a loved one pass away this time of year?
First thing that people have to do is, and I call it learning to reroute the tradition. And what I mean by that is, I know for me, my family, my grandmother was our matriarch, and so she was the person that guided everything. And so it was when she died, it almost felt as if everything fell apart. And so that makes it really hard for a family. And so learning new traditions, learning what are we going to do different? What are we going to do that's still going to be impactful for our family, but at the same time, it's not going to really allow us to have to sit in that grief. Because if you're not careful, you can stay stuck in that grief. Yes.
How do you make it positive? Of course, losing a loved one is never fun, but hopefully you had a good time with them while they were here and have lots of good memories. How do you turn that into something positive?
Well, guess what you can do during that Christmas day?
What's that?
Sit around and tell those stories. Tell those stories about your grandmother and remembering when she was here and the great dishes that she would cook and the fun stories that she would tell. Generational storytelling is an all-time favorite. And it's something that really comes to life during the holidays because that's when all of your family comes together. And so a lot of times people hold stories that maybe you don't know about, you know, because maybe you're too young, or maybe you weren't living in the area at that time. So that generational storytelling is very positive because you honor the loved one, and at the same time, it's just a bonding piece for your family.
Usually learn something new as well about your people, about your family.
And that's always a great thing. Also, you know, another thing that a lot of families that are coming in to see me are telling me that they're starting to do this ancestry piece, where they're actually starting to research their family tree because they want to know more about their family roots. They want to know more about where they come from. And so if you've lost a loved one, that's something also that your family can do, is to really become enriched on what are we going to do to strengthen what we have left. You know, you've heard the cliche, the chain that is broken. So you figure out how to tighten the links that remain.
All right. Interesting stuff there. You talked about the financial issue that you see in your office sometimes. People want to give their family the world on Christmas, but that's just not realistic or reality for a lot of families. So, of course, you don't want to get in that situation where you can't make that mortgage payment, that rent payment later, that credit card bill, whatever it might be. And, you know, on the front side, if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. So I guess sometimes it's tough to say no, especially to your kids on Christmas. But would you advise people just kind of take that tough love approach, or what would you say?
I believe in experiential gift giving. And what I mean, because here's the thing, you can go out and buy that tangible gift, but guess what? Next year, it may be forgotten about, it's no longer used, it's outgrown. So I believe in giving gifts that make memories.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be big. Guess what? It doesn't have to be very exquisite. It can be something that's very simple. A family a couple weeks ago went and they had family photos done. And, you know, that was the gift that they did for their family. For the kids, they decided to just do something that was very simple, that really just emphasized family bonding. And so it doesn't have to be major. Simple is best. Because I think it's so important that parents, it can be spouses, whomever, really remember that it's really about the bonding. And it's really about acknowledging. And it doesn't have to mean that you overdo it. So at the beginning of the year, you're stressed, you're worried, you're depressed, but you still make the meaning of the holiday.
All right, that's all great stuff. More with Dr. Miller here coming up on Awareness when we return.
I'm Attorney George Sink. I've served all my life. I was a school teacher. I served our country as a Marine. And now George Sink Injury Lawyers serves you. Need help? It's easy. Call all nines. We look forward to serving you.
Monica, it is absolute chaos out here. Gale force winds, accumulations up to 8 inches. Don't know if you can even hear me.
What's he doing?
Can we get a shot of this cold front right here? Winter has arrived. Woo!
Progress is an unstoppable force. Brace yourself for the Season of Audi sales event. Get exceptional offers now during the Season of Audi sales event.
What do you think Christmas is all about?
The birth of Jesus. When Jesus got born. It's about the birth of Jesus. It's his birthday. So it's really special. He was born to help the world. He has made the world a better place.
He's a real gift.
Thank you for making Families Helping Families a huge success.
Thank you so much. There just aren't enough words.
They have no idea how much they actually did for our family.
You are a blessing.
Because of your kindness, thousands of Midlands families will wake up to a better Christmas morning.
The kids, just to see the smiles on their faces will be great. My kids gonna be so happy.
Thanks for making holiday wishes come true.
Thank you for Families Helping Families, and thank you, WIS.
Christmas is a time to enjoy precious moments with your family.
It's a time of giving.
A time of happiness and cheer from everyone at George Sink Injury Lawyers and my family, Jeanette, George, and Max the Wonder Dog. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
All right, welcome back, and thanks again, Dr. Miller, for being here. Another issue I want to talk about that some people experience on the holidays is loneliness.
Yes.
Everyone's not married. Everyone doesn't have children. Maybe parents have passed away, or maybe you're estranged from your family. A number of things could be affecting someone. So what do you do about that if you're feeling lonely around the holidays?
There are a couple of things you can do. First of all, give of yourself. I love that. I'm a big advocate for service, and meaning go and do some type of service in the community. You would be so surprised how impactful that can be, not just for the community, but also for you as an individual. So that definitely would be the first thing that I would advise, to give of yourself. And then the second, a lot of times when we are lonely, I think a lot of it's a choice. Okay, and I think that is a subconscious choice that we don't realize that we make, because there are things that we can do to actually involve ourselves. There's so many different social gatherings, so many different things that are going on that we can actually go and be a part of. And so I would encourage individuals to actually go out. Sometimes it can be really hard for people because of what you may be going through. Maybe you just went through a recent divorce, and so you kind of feel like it kind of feels a little hard. That's a grieving piece too. That kind of go back to what we were speaking. But again, that's learning to reroute the tradition. You know, last year I was married, this year I'm divorced.
Right.
So it looks different. So that means I have to do something different in place of what my new norm is now.
Right, I was just thinking that phrase, a new normal, but
Yes.
doesn't always have to be a bad thing.
Absolutely.
It's about how you approach it.
Absolutely. I mean, change can be a wonderful thing. It's just about how we learn to digest the change and make meaning of the change.
Now, there in your practice here in Columbia, of course, depression can spring out of any of these issues that we're seeing. A lot of people turn to medications for depression, and I know there were other alternatives.
Unfortunately.
So tell me about that. What else can you do to cure that if you think that's something you do indeed suffer from?
And I'm glad you said that. And when you said other alternatives, I said unfortunately because sometimes people believe in self-medication, which is not always a healthy thing that people turn to, which turns to other things, to alcoholism, other things that people do to really give themselves that pickup that they feel that they need. But medication does not have to be the number one go-to. Counseling is a really important thing. Reach out. Find a therapist. Find someone that you can actually process these feelings with. CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, is a really important technique because it teaches one to change how you think about it. Okay, which is going back to what I said. When you change the rerouting, changing the way you think about it, changes how you respond to it.
CBT, what's that stand for again?
CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy.
Okay, interesting. Look that up.
Yeah.
Cognitive behavioral
therapy. So definitely, and then, it doesn't always have to be a good friend. Finding that support piece. Those are other aspects that you can also turn to.
Right. So the holidays, by and large, are supposed to be a happy, festive time. Here on WIS, we like to bring you special programming sometimes and different things going on in the community. So how do you maintain, how do you be a part of that? Even if you are having troubles, hardships, maybe you're stressed out, how do you still kind of stay above all of that and partake in what is supposed to be the happiest time of year?
Self-motivation. There is an old cliche, an old Jubilee song that comes to my mind. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. There's true thought to that. Sometimes you have to push yourself even when you don't want to go. Sometimes you have to, self-talk is a really big thing. I encourage it. I encourage people to do it. And sometimes it's telling yourself, I know this is hard, but it's necessary. I know that this is going to be difficult for you, but you can do it. That's a big push. So sometimes just pushing yourself to the extra mile.
These can be connected to personal mental health issues as well.
Absolutely. Because sometimes, and here's the thing, if you let the depression linger for so long, it becomes an issue that we become more concerned about. For example, if you've been dealing with grief for the past 10 years, and it's getting to a place now where it's difficult for you to get out of bed, it's difficult for you to really function during this time of the year, it could be a seasonal form of depression that maybe we need to look at on a different level. And so it can lead to so many other mental health issues that may need to be looked at and also the proper resources sought for.
Real quickly, before we end this segment here, I want to ask you, if someone wants to reach out to you and come see you as a patient or any psychologist out there, what would that look like? Do we go in there and lay on the couch and tell you our problems, or what exactly happens?
The funny thing, people always walk in and they're like, "Oh, this isn't what I expected." I think it really depends on the clinician you're going to see. My office is set up as a home space, and it's set up that way because I want it to feel like it's just a cozy place where we're just going to talk through some things and figure some things out. So I think it really depends. Now, there is a place there where the laying back does happen that we see on TV, but that's more so for the hypnosis, things of that nature. The thing about therapy that I often tell people is that it doesn't hurt physically, but there are some emotional things that have to be explored. And for some people, that is the piece that hurts the most. And so I like to prepare people because I think that's the informed piece that people need to know. When I go in, the first thing people say is, is it going to hurt? Physically? No. Emotionally? Yeah, it very well so.
And that's the stuff you have to really work through sometimes to get to that
where we want to
place
be.
of being healthy.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, and real quickly, if people want to reach out to you, how can they do that?
Yes. Well, first of all, I am on Facebook under Dr. Markeisha Miller. My office number is 803-736-8001.
And you're right in downtown Columbia.
Well, I actually have an office in downtown, but also in the Northeast as well.
Okay.
So we try to meet the means of, where people need us to be.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much for being here, Dr. Miller. It's been great talking with you about this. So hopefully we're wishing everyone a happy holiday season. Hopefully you have a good holiday season. Stress or sadness, whatever you're dealing with, hopefully you've learned some tips this morning that can help you kind of get through those feelings into a happy new year. So coming up here, something else that'll definitely get you in the Christmas and holiday spirit. Some music, some Christmas music to lift your spirits coming up.
Commitment to quality never goes out of style. A Dick Dyer original, the elite you can own.
Oh, Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh, Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging.
It's bowl time at Bojangles. The Botato Breakfast Bowl is back. Piled high with Botato rounds, light folded eggs, savory sausage gravy, and bacon and sausage crumbles. You now have 3 delicious ways to fuel up any time of day with our flavorful Botato Breakfast Bowl, Chicken Rice Bowl, or Jambalaya Bowl. All 3 bowls are served with a made-from-scratch biscuit. Try our Botato Breakfast Bowl for just $4 or our Chicken Rice Bowl and Jambalaya Bowl for just $5 each. Bojangles. It's bowl time.
Santa's on his way with gadgets galore, so here's some apps to help you get more. More from your TV on Roku and Fire, and an Alexa skill that you can acquire. More from your phone when you're on the go. Get breaking news and weather and be in the know. So while you're avoiding Cousin Eugene, live stream the news on your iPhone screen. Download the apps that are clearly better, and put on your best ugly Christmas sweater. WIS News is on your favorite device. Download today, whether you're naughty or nice.
Insurance company's getting you down? Don't scream. Call the king.
We got a $250,000 settlement when the driver pulled in front of our client. Don't know what to do? Dial 803-ALL-TWOS.
To get your attorney, dial all twos.
I wanna get to know you better this Christmas, and as we trim the tree, how fun it's gonna be together. This Christmas, fireside is blazing bright, and we're caroling through the night. This Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Whoa, whoa. Shake a hand, shake a hand. Presents and cards are here. It's gonna be a cheer for you this Christmas. And as I look around, your eyes outshine the town, they do. This Christmas, fireside is blazing bright, and we're caroling through the night. And this Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Whoa, whoa. Shake a hand. Christmas will be a very special Christmas for me. Whoa, whoa. Shake a hand, shake a hand. Whoa, we'll be together to make this Christmas bright. Yes, we will.
Oh, man, thank you so much for that. Sunshine Pollard here with us today on Awareness, and Hank as well on the keys. That was beautiful.
Thank you, Leland.
Absolutely. So real quickly, tell us about yourself. You're a local musician.
I am.
You're also an author, and you have a nonprofit here in town.
I do.
Tell us about that.
So, my artist name is Sunshine P. I am an author. I am a co-author on an anthology that I did a couple of years ago called Diamonds from the Rough, and it deals with tragedy and still standing, persevering through hard times. And I do have a nonprofit called Distinguished Diamonds. I'm also affiliated with the National Coalition of 100 Black Women and the National Kidney Foundation. There's plenty of things I'm involved with.
Hands in a lot of pots.
Lots of pots. And I'm a veteran. Can't forget that.
Okay, well, thank you for your service. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hopefully that got some folks in the Christmas spirit this holiday season. Just real quickly, what's one of your favorite things about this time of year?
Family. I love family and service. I love to serve others and put smiles on their faces.
Do you have kids? I know. How big is your family?
Oh gosh, I have 2 young adults. They're not kids anymore. They'll always be my babies, but I have 2 young adults.
Nice. I would have thought that. Have to find out how young adult is here.
Right.
Well, thank you for being here. You as well, Hank.
Yes,
so glad
Hank
to have
is
you guys and bring this kind of element to our show today. You're going to sing for us one more time here, and this will be an original song.
Correct.
It's called Moving Up. You do write a lot of your own. Moving On, excuse me.
Yeah.
You write a lot of your own music. Before you begin, tell us about this song and what it's about, and just kind of, how you came up with the words to it.
Okay. This song was derived from a tragedy, tragic event in my life, and I found myself contemplating, like, how did I get here? As most people do. You allow yourself to be sucked in, and it's like, how did I get to this point? I know I'm a dynamic person. I know I can accomplish so many things, but how did I allow myself to get to this point where I'm at bottom? And so I wrote that song based on that and gave myself permission to move on. And others, move on. Don't dwell. Move on. Grieve, deal with it, acknowledge it, move on from it, learn from it, move on.
Okay, well, let's hear it one more time. Sunshine P.
Thank you. I'm sitting here wondering why I allowed myself to be so foolish. You'll get through this. You can make it. Why should I care when I'm the only one here holding on to these hurt feelings? It's not worth it. Cause the hole in my heart is not what I anticipated. I'm struggling to find the right words to express the pain I feel for you. Find the right closure to heal, but one was instigated. I'm moving on. Said I'm moving on.
Well, thank you so much. That was beautiful. I know that's possibly a tough one for you to perform. I could kind of see and feel the emotion as you were singing there. But you are on Facebook. You have a website. If folks want to learn more about Sunshine P, how can they do that?
They can go to Instagram, Unique Sunshine. Sunshine with a Y, S-U-N-S-H-Y-N-E. You can go on Facebook, Sunshine Pollard, S-U-N-S-H-Y-N-E, Pollard with a P. You can find me, Sunshine P is my artist page, www.sunshinepmusic.com. Am I missing anything?
I don't think so. If you are, that's plenty to choose from right there.
It's a lot to choose
if you want to learn more, that's how you do it. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and we'll be right back.
You chose to drink and drive. This was the next 60 minutes of your life.
That was our warning 30 years ago, and the message is still the same. Never drink and drive. And if you suspect a drunk driver, call Star HP. South Carolina's roads can be highways or byways. The choice is still yours.
For those who serve today, and those who served before them, for those whose sacrifice will never end, the Gary Sinise Foundation shows its gratitude through entertainment, outreach, and life-changing support. We can never give enough, but we can always give a little more. Find out how you can donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Okay, I gotta run.
Hey, wait, there's something I need to tell you.
Dang.
See zero in a whole new way. Get zero down, zero deposit, zero first month's payment, and zero due at signing on select Volkswagen models. Now with the People First warranty.
Hi, I'm Seth Meyers, and I'm hosting this year's Golden Globes, and we've got a lot to talk about.
It's Hollywood's Party of the Year with all the stars on one night. The 75th Golden Globes, January 7th, live on NBC.
For a moment, I thought I had given it away.
Schifrin nearly loses it.
Finding that I had won, Dad was crying. Mom was, she's one of my coaches, so she was like crying as a mom and scolding me as a coach. I was like, I know, I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
Welcome back to Awareness This Morning. Big thanks to my guest today, Dr. Markeisha Miller, and also Tricia Sunshine Pollard for her musical talent, sharing it with us this morning. And of course, we hope you all have a great holiday season, a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. For this week's Awareness, I'm your host, Leland Pender. Until next time.